Let's raise it. That's the same thing. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. All right. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. If you don't know who I am, my name's AJ. I've been a pet groomer for 15 years. Wow, long time. Just considering if I should do a different intro. Welcome back. This is a live stream, and yeah, things are live. Things are messy. Welcome to the live stream. If you don't know me, wow, life's hard today. Okay. Welcome back. Today we have Charlie. She is a King Charles Cavalier that we're going to give a bath, brush, and a good trim up. Bath and brush also includes nail trimming, sanitary shaving, ear cleaning, ear shaving, ear plucking if necessary. Most Cavaliers don't have any hair on the inside of their ear canal. They get typically what most Spaniels get, which is, we call it carpet ear, which is, it only grows on the outside. We'll give her a good bath with an oatmeal shampoo. She's not going to be getting a de-shed. We want to keep it just as gentle and hypoallergenic as possible for her. And then we'll blow dry her. After that, we'll brush her out, come back up front, brush her out, and do all the trimmings that we're going to do. If you don't know me, my name's AJ. I've been a pet groomer for 15 years, and I've actually been working with dogs for about 25. And if that math doesn't add up, it's because I started bathing dogs at 8 years old. My mom ran a pet salon out of our house, and that's where I started off my dog grooming career. So I've worked with over 20,000 dogs, and today I'm going to show you how I groomed this King Charles Cavalier named Charlie. First thing that we're going to do is shaving the pads of her feet. So I'm going to go ahead and put you guys on the foot camera, and we will grab our clipper with a number 10 blade. Go ahead and stand Charlie up. Now when we're shaving the pads, there is a V-shaped little area between the main paw pad and the 4 toe pads, and I want all of this hair that's growing in between those 2 areas in this little V-shaped crevice to be shaved out. I do not want to shave between the toe pads themselves. If something is above the pads and on the surface, I can shave that, but I won't be shaving in between the toes at all. So I'll start on top because I can see very clearly where the top is, scoop that out, and then I'll come from the bottom, staying in that V-shaped pattern. Now, when I shave it like this, it gets the surface off, but now I need to tip the blade down in order to get down in the little crevice. Go back and forth each direction until I feel like I've gotten as much of the hair out as I can. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now I'll do the same thing on the other 3 feet. Now on this pad, we have something interesting happening. Let's see if I can get a closer look for you guys. Let me finish shaving the pad first. Okay, so on this pad, on the inside, a little difficult to show for the camera, but the edge over here is kind of flaking off. And now I don't know what causes this. I have theorized that maybe it's a fungal issue, but I don't really know. But the pad itself is splintering as if it was all made of hairs, and it's separating. And the whole pad's kind of doing it. You might not be able to see on the camera, but as I move the pad, you can see light entering into the, or shadows behind the splinters of this paw pad. And lots of the pads are doing it. My best guess is it's some sort of fungal issue, but I don't really know what causes that. Let's see, maybe I can get you guys close up. Let's turn her. Into the light. Not sure what that is, but I've seen it on lots of spaniels. So now we'll continue shaving her final pad. Okay, pads are all done. Next step that we're going to do is to cut her nails. Let's do this real quick. Okay, pads are all done, and the next step that we're going to do is to cut her nails. Oh, I'm here, little one. It's okay. She stepped off the edge with her back foot right there, but luckily my arm's underneath and I was able to catch her. So I'm lifting up the foot upside down and I'm looking at the nail and I can see the blood supply come all the way up to about here. That's where it touches the outside of the nail shell, but I know that it grows a little bit further up, so I will start making my cut about here, and then we'll see from the pulp if we're close or not. And the pulp is completely white, so I know that we can cut a little bit further. Now we're starting to see the moist dark circle appear in the center of the nail, but we're not there yet. Take a smaller cut this time, a little bit clearer, but it's still not quite there. I can definitely see it there, but that's just the beginning of the really clear, dark, moist circle. I'm gonna try. Don't sit on me, baby. little more. So it'll cut. So now it's starting to show up a little bit more defined. A little bit more defined. We're close now. If I was to take a huge chunk off, there's a good chance I'd make her bleed. So I'm going to take a half cut, trying to just cut off a sliver of her nail. Hang on. Come on, Charley. Work with me here, girl. Come on. Charley's a big girl. She's a little overweight. She does not want to stand up for me. Okay, so that is what I'm looking for. I could maybe take a little bit more off over here, but with the shape of her nail, my clipper just can't get down, and I can see that's the dark circle that I'm looking for. That means the blood supply is very close to the end right there. And if we come back to the side of the nail, we can see visually the blood supply ends right here, but the safest point to stop cutting is where I did. So we can see that there's an extra bit, about that much is how far the blood supply continues to grow through the center of the nail that you can't see on the outside. Okay, now we'll just do the same thing for the rest of her nails. We'll get her going. Come here, Charley. I'm going to raise the table up a little bit higher. Charley's wanting to squat on me. There we go. Now I won't have to bend over. This nail is curling really tightly to the pad. Makes it a little difficult to cut. Good girl. Make sure, let me get that, good girl. This is a tough one to show you the pulp. Just with the way that the nail curls, it's almost pointing this direction. So trying to twist your foot around to show you that, it's just not quite realistic. Almost there, we go. Too far. There we go. There's that moist pulp. Okay. Call that good. She does have dew claws, so we'll go ahead and cut the dew claws as well. Now it looks like this dew claw did break off at some point. Oh, maybe not. It's got a different shape than the rest of her nails. I'm not sure if you guys can see it on the camera. See if I can clear all this hair out. It's got a much more pointy shape to it, but you can still kind of see through the blood supply. Blood supply ends about right there, so I probably have to stop cutting about here. But I'm going to start higher and read the pulp just to make sure. My intuition says I can't cut that far. Hang on. But we are about there. Yeah, so looks like it's about the same on all of her nails. As far as the distance. Okay, so this one, I got really close. Yeah, it's not bleeding, but this is about as close as you can get, and this is about the most defined dark moist circle in the center of the nail that you will see before you make them bleed. Okay, that's 1 foot. I'm just going to repeat the process for the other 3. That chunk hit me in the face. Okay, this nail was definitely broken. I have not trimmed it, and look how short it is compared to the rest of the nails. And I can see that about this much is a hollow hook that I can cut off the end, and underneath it, that is the actual blood supply, all dried out, right there. So if you ever see a nail like this that's way shorter than the rest of them, that means it was broken. And it can be deceptive. We're finding the blood supply and the quick, it's underneath. It kind of looks like it's just part of the nail, but that is exposed quick that has dried out and crusted on the outside. So we can cut off a teeny bit of this hook, but that's it. That's as much as we can cut off on this nail. Okay. Charlie's making me work for it. My shoulder's tired from holding her up. That's a good example right there. You can see the dark moist circle very clearly in the center. And it's easier with the darker nails because you get a dark circle, whereas with the clear nails, you get a light pink circle. It's a little bit more difficult to see. So right here, 2 good examples of what it looks like when you're all done cutting. That dark circle in the center of the nail. trim. See that, baby? Come here, baby girl. Let me see. There we go. Camera probably can't see it that well, but that one's all done. Okay, and now, we're all done with nail trimming. Next step that I'm going to do is sanitary shaving. And for that, actually, I'm going to start with her ears. Let's go ahead and pop up to the front of her face. Now I'm going to shave, oh my gosh, so much hair in here. A little hard to describe because it's difficult to see where the ear ends and where the face begins, but I'm going to be shaving the inside of the ear, not too close to the edge. Yep, as I suspected, she is not growing long hairs inside of her ear canal. She does have some surface hairs, but we won't worry about plucking these. Okay, and then we'll just scissor trim this. We don't want to actually shave this far. We don't want to shave this far in front of the ears. We just want to shave just from the inside. Okay. Okay. I'm finding the edge of the ear. I'm trying to make sure that I have it trimmed evenly all the way around. Spaniels in particular have a lot of issues with ear infections, and the Cavaliers are no exception because they have so much thick hair covering their ears. Light and air cannot easily get in there to kill the yeast that starts growing. So really important step to just clear out as much of this as possible, and then I'll scissor trim this to allow light and air to get in there. Okay, and now I'm going to shave her Sani, and to do that I'm going to try to stand her up and see how she does with standing her up. And now I'm going to shave just this section right here on her belly. Her nipples are a little crusty, so I have to be a little careful. Stay. 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 Come on. You're okay. You're okay. Good girl. I got you. Okay, that's about all I can do from this top side. Let's head back up to the bottom camera and see if I can show you from here what it looks like. So I'll grab the tail, I'll grab the leg, I'll lift them both up so that I can see underneath the privates. I'm going to shave straight down, come back up. Oh, this hair is real nasty, covered in pee and poop. Get that all shaved off. Now I'll go into the crevices of her flanks. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. Not sure if you guys can see it very well, but that's about all you're gonna get. Now I'll come to the other side and lift this leg up just to make sure I didn't miss anything on this side. Okay, and now I will shave her bum. I'll lift her tail. Well, check my temperature first. Temperature's still good. Lift the tail straight up. And I'm gonna shave just around her bum. Come on. Wait. Trying to remove any dingleberries, stuck on poop, crusties. Okay, now, you know, I wasn't planning on doing much trimming before the bath, but she has so much hair on her feet and her legs. I just don't want to wash and dry it. So I am going to trim that now. I'm going to start on the bottom, trim all the hair that comes past the pads. Pull all the hair back. And we'll come up to the front and get the majority of this hair off the front as well. Okay. Yeah, and that looks much better, much less to wash off. And I'll just do that same thing for the other 3 feet. Front feet are a little bit different in the back of the leg, but the foot is the same. But for the back of the leg, we come short up to this little heel pad at the base of the ankle. And then we blend it from there. Comes out in a nice fan shape for these feathers. Up, 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 up. Now, and I'm just going to go ahead and quickly take off all all this extra fur. This is going to go to spinner. Okay. Find that paw pad. Okay. That is going to be much easier to wash those feet, get them clean. I'm actually going to do similar for her bum. I don't want to deal with her bum being all having crusties and poopy stuff. So we'll just trim all this stuff off. I don't believe in washing nastiness out of fur that I'm going to cut off anyways. Okay, check for tangles in the tail. Don't feel any big ones. Check the ears. She's got one good mat right here. We'll want to split that up. Set back over here. I'm going to grab my mat rake and my long-haired slicker brush. And grab some detangling conditioner spray as well. Go ahead and spray it on the mat. Start with the mat rake. Try to get it underneath the mat, and then, like a saw blade, run the teeth through the mat to separate it into smaller tangles that the brush can more easily deal with. Flip the ear over, come through it on the inside. Okay. And I'll just run it through the rest of the ear as well while I'm here. And now run the brush through it, just remove the mat completely. She's got some mats right on the edge of her ear, right here. That's what I'm working at. Okay. Ear feels pretty good. Little tangle right there. It was separated, but it just needed to be finished pulling out. All right, let's check her other ear. Yeah, kind of the same deal. So let's spray it. Run the mat rake through, or the mat splitter. Okay. You can hear the brush scratching through the tangles. Once that sound is gone, the mats are all gone too. There we go. Almost there. We're trying. Stand up, baby. That's what we want to hear right there. That ear's all done. Okay, we've checked for tangles, we've cut her nails, we've shaved the pads, trimmed off the excess hair, shaved the inside of her ears, shaved her sanitary. We are now ready to jump in back and go give her a bath. Give me just a few moments to get that camera on, and we'll get back there. ahead and get the water warmed up right now before Charlie's in here. And I need to mix up some more shampoo for her face as well. Okay. Got this all mixed up now. Let's go ahead and grab Charley. Okay, now we are in the bathtub. We're going to give Charley a bath. I have this bathing system. You can kind of see the edge of it right there. That pre-mixes the shampoo for me. So all I have to do is just turn it on, and then it will be a direct spray of soap and water. So I don't need to pre-rinse her body at all. What I do need to do is her anal glands before I actually wash her body, because then it'll wash off her bum and her glands as well. So I'll go ahead and spin her around. Stand her up. This is an external anal gland expression. I'm just lifting up the tail, which helps pull the glands closer towards the rectum. Reaching below her rectum itself, finding the glands, and just applying a little bit of pressure underneath them, lifting up and out towards her back end, her bum, and that makes them express naturally. They're very full. Lots of nastiness all over my hands. Let's go ahead and wash that off. Use a little bit of shampoo to really get that off. Some people think that it's really gross to do it the way that I do, where it hits my hand, but I would prefer that it hits my hand and not sprays everywhere and potentially on my shirt and gets into all sorts of weird places. So let's go ahead and use this bathing system to wash her body, legs, tail, and I'll probably wash a little bit of her ears, but I don't want this high pressure water to be getting in her eyes or her nose or on the inside of her ears. So I'll wash all those areas by hand. Helps to have the right shampoo coming out and not conditioner. Turn around, Charlie. Turn around for me, baby. Come on. There we go. Stay. Okay, now we'll turn the bathing system off or to rinse, get the product out of the line. Turn the water pressure nice and low so that I can rinse right over her eyes and I can get her face wet, trying to avoid getting any water in her nose and in the inside of her ears. Or rather, in the ear canal. It's okay if water gets on the inside of the ear, you just don't want it to go down the ear canal itself. Okay, now we took that shampoo that we made just a little while ago, and we started applying it to her face, inside of her ears. Also trying to avoid any of it getting down the ear canal. That's a big mistake. Now we're just going to scrub the heck out of her ears. Spaniel ears are notoriously dirty. So it's very important that I lather them really, really good. Make sure that all the grime gets washed away. An important note when you're washing by hand, as you're applying the soap and lathering it in, if any spot does not lather properly, it's not clean. So you need to add more water or you need to add more soap until it properly lathers. You're such a cutie. You're such a cutie. Oh, I love Cavaliers. Such sweet dogs. Got a few little eye goobers. I'm gonna rinse my hands off so that I can get right next to the edge of her eye where these goobers are and make sure that I don't introduce soap in there when I do it. She's got goobers just on the edge of her eyelid, both eyelids. Okay, let's keep scrubbing, not quite done yet. Okay. Okay, now that I'm rinsing off her face, I'm going to rinse off around her mouth first to try to prevent her from licking in the soap as she licks her face or her lips. And then I'm going to rinse directly over the eyes. It's safe to do with low water pressure. It's not safe to do with high water pressure. But it's really important that I rinse out the eyes just in case some soap did get in there. That way it doesn't irritate her for hours or days or weeks. Now I'm going to pin the ears down. Uh-oh. Little reverse sneeze. You okay? Yeah, you okay? So I'm going to pin the ear down and rinse over it. Trying to make sure no water gets into the ear canal. Wait. Now I'm rinsing underneath the leash. Make sure soap doesn't get trapped under there. And I'll rinse off the rest of her body with higher water pressure. Okay, now I'm squeezing out all the excess water, and as I'm doing it, I'm checking for any soap that's left on her body. If anything feels sudsy or slippery, I'll look at my hand. If I see any bubbles, then I'll rinse off that spot again. She feels great. I don't feel any more soap on her. So let's go ahead and grab a towel. And we will towel dry little Charlie. Towel drying gets off about 80 or 90% of the water, but that's about all that it can get off. Super important step to not skip, because if you skip it, then you're just going to be drying for way longer, because it does such a good job very quickly getting off so much water. But after it's done everything it can, we'll head over there to the blow dryer and finish drying her fur with the blow dryer. Maybe blow dryers. Okay, she's almost done drying. Let's go ahead and take her out. We'll hop over to the drying table. Go ahead and retie the slip knot so that it's the appropriate length for Charlie. And now I'll bring this table up. And I'll finish towel drying Charlie on the drying table. Okay, go ahead and toss this towel in the washing machine. I'm going to turn this dryer on for 1 second. If your volume's really loud, turn it down for a second. Okay. During the drying process, I always put in these earbuds, give myself a little bit of entertainment. They also help reduce the sound, but I don't rely on these anymore to reduce the sound because I have these earmuffs that I wear. They do a much better job keeping the sound out. And to protect the dog's hearing, I use these cotton balls. Stick them inside Charlie's ears to give her some cotton ball earplugs. Looks like her ears are a little small. Ear canal is a little bit smaller. Tear some of it off. Okay. bit. She did not love around her face getting dry. She was a little reactive, trying to pull her head away, but ultimately she did really good for the rest of it, and this part is just a tiny bit wet still. But that's okay. It will dry on its own as we brush her and then do all the trimming. So let's head back up front and finish her haircut. Oh. Come here. Let's not stand so close to the edge. All right, now we're done with the bath. All right, now that we're done with the bath and drying, we've got her back up front. We're going to brush out all of her fur and then do the trimmings, the last final trimmings to finish up her haircut. I'm gonna take my detangling conditioner spray and spray it on her back. And we'll go ahead and get you guys on a new angle to see this top view, brushing out her back. Up. Good girl. Okay. Good girl. If you remember from when I was teaching you about brushing the ears earlier, the sound has changed as I brushed her tail. It's so quiet now. instead of being that scratchy, clicky sound. And I'm just going over it in lots of different directions to make sure that I've gotten all the tangles, but I believe her tail is all brushed out now. There's something right here. Okay, do the same thing for her ears. Sometimes the blow dryer will tangle up the ears a little bit. Pay attention to the sound. Cottonmouth's a little dirty. This one also a little dirty. Got a little mat underneath her ear. It's not wanting to come free. There we go. There we go. Hang on. That's what we want to hear. There's a big difference between this ear and this ear that I haven't brushed yet. That's the difference between finished being brushed and still tangles left to be brushed. Come here, baby. Same thing on this side. The rest of her ear is done, but there's a little tangle underneath her ear. Okay, there we go. Hear that? Yeah, buddy. That's what we're looking for. I will go ahead and brush out her chest and her side and her legs and her belly. Stay. Making sure to come from the inside and back. Really easy to miss tangles on the inside of the legs back here. Okay. There we go. Make sure to get the armpits, brushing on the leg side as well as the belly side, getting the corner of my brush into the armpit on each side. Come up front, lift your chin up, take this leash off so that I can brush all over where the leash was sitting. And down her chest. Okay, chest feels good. Now I'm going to just repeat that same process on her other side. Finish up around her neck, everywhere that the leash was sitting. Now I can put the leash back on. I'll spray her side, her legs, back leg, and her belly. Stay. all done brushing. I'll put my brush away. Now we're going to jump back to her feet. Oh, hang on just one moment.
Hi.
Hello, how's it going?
Good, this is Theodore.
Okay, sorry about that everyone. I am way behind schedule. Going slow as heck on this little girl, so I'm just gonna actually switch this up a little bit. Gotta speed the process up a bit. We're just gonna jump between the two cameras.